If you're new around here, well, you may have missed the release of my song, Undone, and the music video. Check it out over here so you get an idea of what I'm covering in this video. Undone is a pop dance EDM kind of song that I wrote myself. Today we're gonna, well, you already read the title. Let's get started. I typically start with chords, and I wanted to try to create a chord progression with vocals for this song. Of course, I chose Exhale by Output. Exhale is a vocal plugin. It comes with lots of vocal chops, samples, and pad kind of sounds. The preset I used is called Breaking Through. So the only effect I have on this is a compressor, and all it's doing is just evening out the sound. So the next track is the arpeggiating bells. I used Omnisphere, and to arpeggiate it, I didn't use the internal arpeggiator that's included in Omnisphere. I just used the one that comes with Ableton Live. The next sound that you actually hear in the beat is the finger snaps. I used adsr sample manager to find one of the samples that I own. It's in my sample library. I didn't do much to the finger snap, but I do send the snaps to one of the return tracks running Valhalla reverb. This is one of my must-have plugins. The next sound that comes in is the bass sound. Getting older wasn't part of the plan. The bass sound comes from Nexus 2 by ReFX. At this point in the song, I wanted to start hinting that the song is going to build up and be very rhythmic. Nexus 2 is amazing simply because the sounds, the presets, are just so good. Nexus isn't cheap, and every additional preset pack adds to the cost, but it's well worth it. I did EQ this as well, and I added a sidechain compression from the kick drum. Oh, I forgot about that. When the kick drum hits, it ducks the volume of the bass. Let's hear the bass along with the pad and the arpeggiating bells and the finger snaps. Okay, towards the end of the verse, I start hinting to the listener that a change is coming. I added a sound from Ethereal Earth by Native Instruments. I added the LFO tool. I think it's also another must-have if you create EDM, dance, or pop music. It's $50 and it's a real time saver. It creates that pumping effect that's so popular in modern music nowadays. In this track, I used a dotted eighth note. Now, if you heard the hi-hats come in, the hi-hats I found also from my sample library. For those, I actually used Sample Manager. adsr Sample Manager you've seen twice already, and it's free. Yes, Sample Manager is free. Hit the like button if you like free stuff. I show you how to create a drum rack from multiple Sample Manager plugins in a video over here. Go check that out. It's a really useful tool. The pad sound in the pre-chorus comes from Cypher 2 by Fxpansion. Cypher 2 is a great synth plugin, especially if you have a C-board by Roly, because it includes presets that can be manipulated with the C-board. If you search under library, you'll see that it has an MPE factory library. Actually, the one I chose here is Analog Air 5D. I also added the LFO tool to this, so it gives that pumping effect again, but it's doing it on the quarter note. Let's talk about the piano real quick. This is coming from Nexus 2, and it is called Netherworlds. I EQ'd the piano so that it doesn't conflict with the other instruments, so I took out all the lower frequencies so it's not conflicting with the bass. You'll notice that I EQ'd a bunch of these instruments. EQing has made a big difference in my mix process, and I show you how to do some of the basics and how I applied it in this song in a video over here. Now, the same piano comes in again in the bridge where I have sort of a piano solo. I love that piano sound, and yeah, Nexus 2 has some excellent modern sounding piano sounds. All right, at the end of the pre-chorus, I have a snare drum riser that comes from one of my favorite Native Instruments plugins, Rise and Hit. Rise and Hit is exactly that, a collection of risers that end in dramatic hits. They're perfect for build-ups and transitions like this. I use the preset Soft Drums 3. Let's listen to it in the context of the music. The way we came undone. All right, let's talk about the chorus. First, I want to talk about the drums. I used adsr Sample Manager on all of them except for one, and that is where I used XO by XLN Audio. I typically use it to construct the full drum beat, but for this song, I just really wanted to use this one kick that I found. The other kick, snare, closed hi-hat, open hi-hat are all from adsr Sample Manager. Now, again, let me stress that adsr Sample Manager doesn't come with these sounds. adsr Sample Manager just manages your collection of samples. Pretty simple, right? To the snare, I added some reverb, and to the open hi-hat, I added a Sound Toys plugin called Penman. It's panning automatically left to right, and that just creates some width in the drums. Oh, on the adsr kick, I used Drum Bus, which is an Ableton plugin. I just used this to give it a little bit more of a boom sound. Without it, with it, big difference, right? Also in the chorus, you'll hear other percussions. The percussion that I added here is the sample that I downloaded from splice.com. Before we get to the next instrument, hit that like button if you like supporting independent artists like me, and subscribe so you can keep up with my other videos. I'm going to be creating a couple more videos about my song Undone, my workflow, song creation, and how to get your song on Spotify and iTunes. And don't forget to follow me on Spotify, link is in the description below. So I used Exhale by Output again for the vocal chops in the chorus. I added Elastic Pitch, which is a pretty cool plugin. I've just changed the timbre. Kind of pulls it out of the mix a little bit better. In the chorus, I've added a new pad. Now this pad is from Diva, the synth from Yuhi. Added the LFO tool, and I also added the dimension expander. This is a free plugin from XLN Records. Go get it. It adds some width and some subtle, I don't know, expansion to the sound. It's really great on pads. So here's the sound without dimension expander. And with it, it's subtle. Finally, in the chorus, I have Nexus 2 playing again, and this is playing the plucks. It's really a guitar sound. I added a delay to it, which is just the stock Ableton delay to give it some rhythm. And I also added a plugin called Center 1 by Leapwing Audio. It allows you to either stress the center of the sound or to diminish it and push it towards the sides. All right, last but definitely not least is this radio transmission sound. Let's listen to the chorus into the second verse with all the instruments. So what about my vocals? Well, I'm going to cover that in a separate video. I'll show you exactly how I recorded and processed my vocals, and I'll cover plugins from UAD, Waves, and many more. Now, if you're interested to know how all these instruments that you just saw fit into the full mix with the vocals, check out my music video and you'll start to hear all these individual sounds and where they're placed in the song and how I arrange the song as well. So is there something I'm not covering here? Leave a comment below. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. Make the music that you love, my friends, and check out one of these videos next.